I'm going to show you a video from France.
Oh boy.
This is an old video. So you know what's happening in France, right?
There's like some racial riots that are happening, right? And it's because of
So
some sort of police brutality or harassment. And then it turned into a racial thing, or is interpreted that way. And immigrant communities have been rioting. Is that more or less correct?
right. Yes. So a lot of these immigrants are Muslim.
Mhm.
And a lot of people are suggesting that this is largely Muslims rioting. Okay. And
Okay.
this might be exaggeration. I don't think the riots have much to do with Islam
I
or
haven't gotten that
Muslim.
sense either, but I'm like, is this a media bias? It seems like more of a
Um,
racial immigrant kind of thing.
yeah, but just it just so happens that many of these rioters are Muslims, and that was enough for people to just go with the narrative that, oh
Yeah.
look, Muslims. And one place that this narrative have been hearing it a lot is in Iran. And the people in Iran some of them are celebrating this happening to France because they think France deserved this, because France brought the ruling of Islam to Iran.
Because of the background of giving shelter and sanctuary to
Khomeini.
Khomeini. Ayatollah Khomeini.
Exactly. Okay. So they're like, here's a taste of your own medicine.
There's
Right?
lots of other conspiracies about France as well. Yeah.
People are saying when he came to Iran and finalized the Islamic Revolution, he came from France and France was giving him shelter. And so this tweet, for example, says that وحشت بزرگ جمهوری اسلامی رو باید فرانسه هم بچشه. مگه همین فرانسه نبود از اینا حمایت میکرد. France should taste the great fear of an Islamic Republic. Wasn't it these people who supported these Islamists? And it says بخور فرانسه جان نوش جانت, like eat it France, I hope you enjoy it, something like that, right? And the picture below it was, I don't know if it's going to show it to us or not. Oh yeah, so I don't know how in the middle of a protest, this is in the middle of a protest, you can see IRGC kind of symbolism but in French colors. Yeah, so let me actually see what they're saying.
این تصویر هم از پرچم گروهی بر شانه‌های دختری گرفته شده که کاربران گفتند گروهی است با نام حزب الله فرانسه.
So French Hezbollah. So it's a group called French Hezbollah. So that's what this arm is like. Look, it's French colors, but it's like Hezbollah or an IRGC like and Hezbollah like symbolism.
Oh my God.
So
نزدیک به جمهوری اسلامی ایران و
and Hezbollah, for people who don't know, is like a proxy group of the Iranian government, right? So, but let me show you something about what happened. Oh, but and people, now that this is happening in France, look the video that they're sharing on social media in Iran. So this is a video that people are sharing in Iran from this, I think he's a UAE guy.
در همین باره چند سال پیش وزیر امور خارجه امارات متحده
Yes, he's like the foreign ministry of the UAE.
به دولت‌های غربی هشدار داد که شناختی از اسلام و خاورمیانه ندارند، اما به غلط خیال می‌کنند شناخت خوبی دارند.
And let me say this in English so you can understand what I'm saying.
I have translation.
No, I know you have translation, but I just want to make sure you get it right.
Oh.
There will come a day that we will see far more radical extremists and terrorists coming out of Europe because of the lack of decision-making, trying to be politically correct, or assuming that they know the Middle East and they know Islam and they know the others far better than we do. And I'm sorry, but that's pure ignorance.
Wait, we just need to talk about that for a second. What? This man is saying this out loud?
Yes. I have something that is
He can only
relevant
say
to
this
all
because
of this.
he's from there. If anyone that looked like me said this, they'd be like, "You're freaking racist. What's wrong with you?"
Right. Exactly.
Holy crap.
I'm going to top all of this up to
Oh.
show you how for a lot of people in Iran this is a repeat of history now in France. Again, I'm not saying this is an accurate description of what's happening. I'm just telling you the narratives that are being thrown around, right?
Yeah.
So what the perception right now is that France is led by leftist people, and leftist people don't understand the threat of Islam, right? And they keep not learning how it will always come back and haunt them. This thing, like every time we have the more left it gets, the more closer they get to Islam, and eventually it will backfire because Islam is right leaning, and they will always end up regretting it, right? So the reason why people say that and think that in Iran is because their own history involves leftists opening the door to Islamists to take over the government.
Yeah.
Right? So if you look at the 1979 Islamic Revolution, the mullahs and the Islamists never had the skills, the know-how to do politics,
The
the
structure of the
alphabets of
clerical
politics.
establishment. That's a network.
They didn't have a ideology that could mobilize people to do a revolution. They didn't have the revolutionary narratives. Okay, and all of a sudden, this leftist guy showed up, and he used Shia narratives to rebrand Marxist, Leninist revolutionary speech and give it a Shia coloring. Right, so Shariati did that, and the leftists and the communists, they used a network. Because what the Pahlavi dynasty did, they completely destroyed any ability for the leftists to come, and because communists were seen as a major threat, and the Pahlavis were effective in completely dismantling all their abilities to do anything against the
Well, and
regime.
some of those are
right?
not ethical, let's be clear.
But they had their ideology, and they didn't have the networking, so they used the mosques. There was a marriage between the leftists and the Islamists against the Pahlavi dynasty, against the Shah, against the king, right? Against the monarchy. And it was successful. But the leftists themselves thought that these Islamists are idiots. And once they could be used to get to power, and once they get to power, they could be ignored, right? Because they
Or
don't know how to do
purged.
politics themselves, right? But they soon discovered that it was the purges the other way is going to be happening the other way around. They are the ones who are going to be executed, right? And also early on in the beginning of the revolution, they wanted all the executions to happen very fast, all the bourgeoisie to be hanged all very fast, but they didn't want their name to be tainted with all these executions. So they wanted to Islamists, they gave the Islamists also the powers to carry out and finish the executions. So everything is completely done, ready for them to come and now take the power. But then all of a sudden they saw that they themselves were on the list of the people who were about to get executed.
Well,
So
yeah.
that's how
the
it all
cultural
back.
revolution comes for you.
Right, exactly. So before the revolution, there's a video that demonstrates. So the king, the Shah, before Muhammad Reza Pahlavi, he named this marriage between the Shias and the leftists as a union of black and red. So there was three colors at play. The symbol for the monarchy was the color white, the communists was red, and for the Shia clerics it was black. The black and the red were together fighting against the white. That was what was happening, right? But given that the Islamists, Khomeini and the Islamists were in France, there is a video from 1 year. I think it's 1 year before the revolution. Yes, it's 1 year before the revolution in France, which is a prayer that has now been named the Red Prayer. So it's a video of the Red Prayer in 1978, and it's in a church. It's in the French church, and it's an Islamic prayer by communists in France. This video highlights, it's a very bizarre video because there's so many things together in a strange atmosphere in France that is basically, it's a sign of things to come. It's a sign. It's right before the Islamic Revolution in Iran coming, and Khomeini coming from France to Iran, and it's just the bizarreness of that, and the music, the church music that is playing in the background, and communists in red doing an Islamic prayer. It's just such an odd scene. It's a foreshadowing of strange things to come.
What the? This is so creepy. Are they hiding their identities? What are they saying?
They're saluting Khomeini and saying death to the Shah, the king. They're saying death to the king. This says Imam Khomeini.
What the? What? I was not expecting the prayer mats to be animal skins. I was like, oh, it's a tiger. What the hell? Oh my god. Oh. Can we watch Iranian children's things now?
Should we watch that? Yeah, maybe.
Honestly, why not?
Oh, yeah.
It makes more and more sense why Iranians hate leftists so much.
Well, I mean, they shouldn't.
And let me be clear. I have friends that are Iranian leftists. That's great. I'm just saying, out of the many, many Iranians that I know, the majority of them are very distrusting towards leftists. Extremely distrusting.
Yeah.
I mean, Shaheen Najafi went full, how many reses do we need for you? I was like, damn. Bruh.